It's Mailbag Friday, day so bright. Read your letters with pure delight. Treasure tales come our way. Mailbag Friday, the best day.
Howdy folks, I'm Farron Wise. Welcome to our Mailbag Friday edition of the podcast in which Consuelo and Ethan will read and respond to your emails. If you'd like to have them answer one of yours, send your question to agypsyskiss@gmail.com. Please include your first name, occupation, and city or state. Now let's get on with today's program.
Welcome back to Mailbag Fridays.
It's where we unpack your questions and theories about the JCB treasure hunt.
Exactly.
Alongside you.
We were blown away by the response to our first episode.
Yeah.
The mailbox is overflowing with your theories and questions.
So many great insights.
About those cryptic JCB clues.
It's amazing to see the range of expertise people are bringing to this.
Right.
Historians, artists, even geologists.
It's incredible. And that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Common struggles.
Yes.
Common questions.
That have popped up in your letters about the JCB puzzle.
We're going to talk about the poem.
Those illustrations. And whether all this historical knowledge is actually a help.
Or a hindrance.
Let's jump right in with Linda.
Okay.
She's a librarian from Boston.
A librarian.
With a sharp eye for patterns.
I like her already.
Linda writes, "Dear Mailbag Fridays, I've been poring over the JCB clues.
Oh, yeah.
And I keep coming back to the poem.
Of course.
What role do you think the rhythm or structure of the poem plays?
Good question.
Could the arrangement of lines or rhymes be hiding something deeper? As a librarian, I've seen how form can enhance meaning in literature.
Right.
And I wonder if this poem is doing the same.
Interesting.
Looking forward to your thoughts, Linda."
Well, Linda, you've hit on a key element here.
Yeah.
That poem, it's at the heart of this whole hunt.
It feels so central.
But figuring out its significance is where things get a little tricky.
Because on the surface,
Yeah.
it seems pretty straightforward.
Locations, hints, imagery.
But could there be a secret code embedded within the structure?
It's possible. Think about a sonnet.
Okay.
That strict rhyme scheme and that structure,
Right.
those aren't just there for aesthetics.
Right.
They're there to enhance the poem's message and sometimes even conceal hidden meanings.
So you're saying that the JCB poem,
Yeah.
its rhythm or rhyme scheme, could be doing something similar.
Yeah, like subtly guiding us toward the treasure.
Guiding us.
Maybe the first letter of each line spells out a keyword.
Oh.
Or maybe the number of words in each stanza
Right.
corresponds to a specific coordinate.
That's so interesting. Could be a challenge for sure.
A huge challenge.
But some treasure hunters love that complexity.
Right.
The challenge is we don't know how deep the creator intended to go. I mean, it could be a multi-layered masterpiece for code breakers.
Yeah.
You know, like for poetry scholars.
Right.
Or they might have just enjoyed the poem's flow,
Right.
you know, without embedding some complex code.
So analyzing the structure is valid,
Yeah.
but we need to find a balance between that level of analysis
Yes.
and the puzzle's logic.
Exactly.
Oh.
Speaking of landscapes,
Oh, right.
our next letter comes from Marcus.
Okay.
He's a geologist in Denver.
A geologist.
He's curious about natural landmarks in this treasure hunt.
Oh, this is interesting.
Let's see what he has to say.
He says, "Hello, Mailbag team. I've been fascinated by how much nature."
Seems woven into the JCB clues.
It does.
Where do you think natural landmarks play the biggest role? Are there specific patterns to look for in rock formations,
Interesting.
waterways, or other features? I spend my days reading landscapes and would love your take
Wow.
on this aspect of the hunt.
That's great.
Best regards, Marcus.
Marcus, you've identified one of the initial hurdles
Right.
for treasure hunters with this puzzle.
Yeah.
Figuring out its geographical scope.
The scope, yeah.
Are we talking specific mountains,
Right.
rivers,
Yep.
or just a general nature vibe?
Because without knowing that scope,
Yeah,
we could be searching forever.
exactly. It's a needle in a haystack.
Daunting.
To answer Marcus's question directly,
Okay.
yes, natural features could be crucial. Lots of treasure hunts
Yeah.
use landmarks as waypoints
Okay.
or even embed them in the clues themselves.
So if we're looking for patterns, what should we be focusing on?
First, I'd look closely at the poem and all the materials for specific geological formations. Is there mention of a unique rock, a strangely shaped mountain,
Right.
or a river known for, say, its rapids.
And even if it's not named directly,
Yeah,
could there be descriptions that fit a certain type of landscape?
absolutely.
Okay.
Does the poem talk about, say, jagged peaks
Oh.
or waters cascading into a hidden grotto?
Those are beautiful images.
They could be more than just poetic imagery.
Right.
They might actually be pointing to real locations.
So someone like Marcus,
Oh, absolutely.
with his geology background.
He could have a real advantage.
Now let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
to a question I'm sure many of us have pondered.
Yeah,
Is historical context important?
that's a big one.
Ellen, a history teacher from Richmond,
Okay.
brings this up in her letter.
Okay, let's hear it.
She writes, "Hi, Mailbag team. I love listening to your podcast
Oh, that's nice.
while grading papers.
I can relate to that.
My question is this. When does historical context become important
Mm-hmm.
in the JCB hunt?
Yeah.
Are there references that might tie into specific historical events or places? I find myself overanalyzing everything.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for keeping treasure hunting fun, Ellen.
Ellen, you're not alone in that overanalyzing.
It's so easy to fall into that trap.
This puzzle is designed to make us think deeply,
Right.
which sometimes leads us down rabbit holes.
But to answer your question directly,
Yeah,
yes, historical context could be significant.
absolutely.
Some treasure hunts
Yeah.
are deeply rooted in those historical events or figures.
Mm.
So if a clue mentions a specific battle
Yeah,
or a historical figure from a certain era,
right.
that
Yeah.
would be worth exploring.
Precisely.
Okay.
Look for dates, names, locations that have historical significance and see if they align with other clues.
Okay.
But, and this is crucial, prioritize the puzzle's internal logic first.
Meaning decode the clues as they stand
Yes.
before spiraling into deep historical research.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Now, our next letter comes from Jonah,
Jonah.
a graphic designer in Seattle.
Okay.
And it's all about those eye-catching illustrations
Oh, yeah.
of the JCB materials.
This one, I have a feeling, will pique your interest.
He writes, "Dear Mailbag team, the artwork in the JCB treasure hunt
Yeah.
is captivating.
Isn't it?
How much weight should we give the artist's intent when analyzing the visuals? Could the style,
Yeah.
color palette, or even small details hold the key to cracking a clue?
Interesting.
As a visual storyteller myself,
Okay.
I'd love your insight on what to focus on."
Great question, Jonah.
Thanks, Jonah.
Jonah, you bring up a great point.
Yeah.
Visuals communicate in ways that words can't sometimes.
Right.
And those JCB illustrations,
Yeah.
they're full of symbolism, intricate details, which makes us wonder,
Yeah.
is it purely aesthetic?
Or are those details essential clues?
Good question. Should we approach the artwork with the same scrutiny?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As we give the poem and other clues.
Okay.
Look for recurring symbols,
Right.
unusual details,
Okay.
anything that seems deliberately out of place.
Out of place.
Could a tiny symbol be an ancient glyph?
Mm-hmm.
Or does the color palette suggest a specific location
Right. Right.
or a time period?
Because artists make choices for a reason.
Exactly.
But a word of caution.
Yeah.
Don't overinterpret the artistic style
Right.
unless there's supporting evidence from other puzzle elements.
Exactly.
So don't assume the treasure's in France
Right.
just because the illustrations have an impressionistic vibe,
Exactly.
unless other clues point in that direction.
Unless there's more.
Right. Analyze the artwork in conjunction with everything else,
Yes.
not in isolation.
Exactly. Our final letter for this segment comes from Travis,
Yeah.
an outdoors guide in Bozeman.
An outdoors guy. And he poses a fascinating question
Okay.
about the skills needed to win this treasure hunt.
Oh, interesting.
Let's see what he has to say.
He writes, "Hello, Mailbag Fridays. I've been following the JCB hunt with great interest,
Yeah.
especially since it seems to involve exploration. My question is this. Who benefits most? Those with a strong understanding of maps
Okay.
or those with an instinct for on-the-ground discovery?
Interesting.
As an outdoors guide,
Makes sense.
I wonder if this treasure hunt favors navigators or explorers."
Oh, navigators versus explorers.
Keep up the great work, Travis's.
Travis, you've tapped into a debate that's central to treasure hunting.
It is.
Is it about armchair decoding?
Right?
Or is it about using your wits
Yeah.
and instincts out in the field?
That's a good question. In the case of the JCB hunt,
Yeah,
it seems like both are essential.
they are.
Initially, I believe the navigators,
Yeah.
as Travis calls them, have an advantage They're deciphering the poem,
Right.
analyzing the artwork, maybe even cracking codes.
But eventually those clues have to lead to a physical location.
And that's where those explorers
Exactly.
with their on-the-ground skills
Yeah.
come in.
You can be a master code breaker,
Yeah.
but if you can't navigate the terrain or trust your gut
Yeah.
when the trail goes cold,
Right.
you're not finding that treasure.
So it's almost like two phases,
Yeah.
each favoring different skill sets.
Mm.
But ultimately, it's the combination
I think you're spot on.
that leads to success.
And maybe the real key to winning isn't about individual brilliance, but knowing when to collaborate.
Oh, interesting.
When to bring in someone with complementary skills
Right.
to help overcome an obstacle.
That raises a great question. Is this treasure hunt designed for teams?
Could be.
Could the clues be structured
Yeah.
in a way that requires multiple perspectives?
That's something to ponder, for sure.
We've covered a lot of ground in this first batch of letters,
It's fascinating stuff.
and the conversation is far from over.
Oh, no, we're just getting started.
When we come back,
Yeah?
we'll delve into even more of your questions
Yeah.
about the JCB treasure hunt,
I can't wait.
exploring those intriguing possibilities about hidden messages
Oh, I love those.
and the psychology of puzzle solving.
Hey, Jude.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Right back.
Welcome back to Mailbag Fridays.
Where we're unraveling the mysteries of the JCB treasure hunt alongside you.
And judging by your letters, this puzzle is really sparking some serious brain power out there.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. You're approaching this with such a fascinating blend of logic, creativity, and just a touch of healthy obsession, I think.
A little bit of obsession is required for this hunt, right?
Oh, absolutely. In this next batch of letters, we're going to delve into even more intriguing territory.
Oh, love it.
We're talking the psychology of puzzle solving,
Okay,
hidden messages, and symbolism.
so buckle up. This is where things get really interesting.
First up, we have a letter from Sarah,
Sarah.
a psychologist in Chicago.
Interesting.
And her question taps into something I've been pondering as well. Is this hunt designed to test our psychological resilience as much as our intellectual prowess?
You know, is it as much about mental fortitude as it is about cracking codes and following clues?
Let's see what Sarah has to say.
Okay.
Sarah writes, "Dear Deep Dive, I'm a psychologist,
Okay.
and I've noticed that complex treasure hunts, like the JCB one,
Yeah.
often play on our psychological biases and tendencies.
Interesting.
Do you think this hunt is intentionally designed to mislead us or make us doubt ourselves? Is it as much a test of patience and determination as it is of intelligence?"
That's a great question.
Signed, Sarah from Chicago.
Sarah, you've hit on a crucial aspect of this hunt and really many puzzles throughout history. The best ones aren't just about finding the right answer, are they?
No.
It's about the journey, the mental challenge.
Yeah.
Those moments of doubt followed by those aha breakthroughs.
The struggle is real with this treasure hunt.
Oh, it is. Those ambiguous clues, the seeming dead ends.
So much information.
It's all designed to make us question ourselves.
Second guess everything.
Wonder if we're on the right track, and that can be so frustrating.
Incredibly frustrating.
But when you finally make a breakthrough,
Yes,
the sense of accomplishment is even more rewarding.
absolutely. It's like the puzzle creator is saying, "I'm going to make you work for this treasure."
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
It's that challenge that makes treasure hunts so captivating. And to answer Sarah's question directly,
Yeah.
yes, I believe this hunt is intentionally designed to test our psychological resilience.
Okay.
It's about pushing through those moments of doubt, trusting your instincts and not giving up when the going gets tough.
Now, speaking of pushing boundaries,
Okay.
our next letter comes from David, a musician in New Orleans.
A musician.
And his question is a little bit out there, but fascinating.
I love it when our listeners think outside the box.
Let's hear what David has to say.
Yeah.
Okay, David writes, "Hey, Deep Dive, I'm a musician,
Okay.
and I'm always looking for patterns in hidden meanings and sounds. Do you think the JCB treasure hunt could be using similar techniques, but with words or images?
Oh, wow.
Could there be hidden messages embedded in the text or artwork that only become apparent when you arrange them in a certain order
Okay.
or view them from a specific perspective?" Thanks, David from New Orleans.
David, you've stumbled upon a concept called steganography,
Steganography.
which is essentially the art of hiding messages
Okay.
within seemingly ordinary content. It might sound like something out of a spy thriller, but it's actually a technique that's been used for centuries.
So it's like hiding a secret message within a painting or a piece of music.
Exactly.
Wow.
And in the context of the JCB treasure hunt, it's not entirely implausible.
Okay.
Could there be a message encoded within the first letter of every line of the poem? Or a symbol hidden within the artwork that's only visible under a blacklight?
We're really going deep now.
But here's the thing. While steganography is incredibly cool,
Yeah.
it's also very difficult to pull off effectively.
Right.
And if the creator did use this technique,
Right.
they'd have to make sure the hidden message is solvable.
Right. It can't be so obscure that no one ever finds it.
Exactly. Otherwise, it defeats the whole purpose of the treasure hunt, doesn't it?
So for those of you exploring this steganography angle,
Yes.
proceed with caution.
It's a long shot.
But hey,
But stranger things have happened.
stranger things have happened. Now
Yeah.
let's shift gears a bit and talk about symbolism.
Oh.
Something that's come up in a lot of your letters.
And for good reason. The JCB materials are practically overflowing with symbols.
From the recurring motifs in the artwork to those cryptic phrases in the poem.
Absolutely. And like any good treasure hunt, those symbols are likely there for a reason.
The challenge lies in interpreting them correctly.
Because a single symbol can have multiple meanings depending on the context. Right?
Exactly. So here's my advice for those of you grappling with symbolism.
Okay, I'm listening.
First, identify all the recurring symbols in the JCB materials.
Okay.
Make a list, sketch them out, whatever helps you visualize them.
And then start scouring the internet for every possible meaning.
Hold on.
Okay.
Before you go down that rabbit hole,
Right.
try to understand the overall theme or narrative of the JCB treasure hunt.
The big picture.
What story is it trying to tell?
Yeah.
What is the creator's ultimate goal?
Because that context will help narrow down the potential meanings of those symbols.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For example, if the JCB hunt is about a lost expedition,
Okay.
a symbol of a compass might represent navigation,
Yeah.
while a skull and crossbones could symbolize danger.
Right.
But if the hunt is about a hidden family fortune, those same symbols could take on entirely different meanings.
Exactly.
So before you get lost in a sea of symbolism, take a step back and consider the bigger picture.
Love it.
It will make your interpretations much more focused and relevant.
Great advice. Now, before we move on to our next batch of letters,
Okay.
I want to address something that's been buzzing around online.
Oh, okay.
The role of collaboration in this treasure hunt.
Yeah. Yes. The age-old question. Should we be working together? Or is it every treasure hunter for themselves?
Because there's definitely a lot of debate about this, right?
There is.
Some people are fiercely protective of their theories and clues,
Yeah.
while others are openly sharing their findings online.
It's fascinating to see the different approaches.
And both approaches have their merits. Keeping your findings secret gives you a competitive edge, of course.
Right.
But collaboration can lead to breakthroughs that no one individual could achieve alone.
So what's the right answer? To collaborate or to compete?
I think the answer lies in finding the right balance.
Okay.
Early on in the hunt, it can be beneficial to keep some of your findings close to the vest.
Makes sense.
It allows you to explore your own theories,
Yeah.
develop your own strategies.
But as the hunt progresses
Yeah.
and the clues become more complex,
Yes,
collaboration becomes increasingly valuable.
exactly. Don't be afraid to reach out to other treasure hunters, whether online or in person. You might be surprised at the insights and perspectives they can offer.
And
Someone took the time to craft this intricate puzzle, this layered narrative, knowing that it would spark something within us.
it's amazing to think that a simple box buried somewhere out there can ignite such passion,
Incredible.
such intellectual energy, such a sense of wonder.
It truly is. Now let's see what other wonders our listeners have in store for us in this final segment.
Welcome back to Mailbag Fridays.
It's the final stretch of our deep dive into your questions and theories about the JCB treasure hunt.
And in this last batch of letters, we're tackling some of the biggest questions surrounding this puzzle.
The big ones.
We're talking about the creator's intentions. The ultimate purpose
Yeah.
of this elaborate game
Right.
and what it all means in the grand scheme of things.
Existential question.
Because beyond the thrill of the chase
Yeah.
and the challenge of decoding those clues, there's a deeper layer to this hunt, isn't there?
I think so.
Let's unpack these final letters and see what insights they offer.
Okay.
Our first letter comes from Maria, a philosopher in San Francisco.
A philosopher.
And her question is one that's been on my mind as well.
I'm intrigued.
Maria writes, Dear Deep Dive Team, I'm a philosopher,
Okay.
and I'm fascinated by games and puzzles as reflections of the human mind.
Interesting.
What do you think the creator of the JCB treasure hunt is trying to tell us about ourselves
Oh, wow.
through this elaborate game? Is it a celebration of our ingenuity? A commentary on our obsession with material wealth? Or something else entirely? Sincerely, Maria from San Francisco.
Maria, you've hit on something profound.
It's so easy to get caught up in the mechanics of the hunt,
The decoding, yeah.
the strategizing, that we forget to consider the bigger picture.
Well, why behind the what?
The message behind the message, so to speak.
Exactly.
What is the creator trying to say about us?
Right.
About the world we live in?
It's like they've presented us with this intricate mirror, and we're
Yeah.
all looking into it, trying to make sense of our own reflections.
And those reflections can be multifaceted,
Oh, yeah.
even contradictory.
Absolutely.
Are we brilliant problem solvers? Or are we hopelessly fixated on chasing those elusive rewards?
Are we driven by a thirst for knowledge and exploration, or by greed and the desire for possession?
I think the answer is probably a bit of both,
Probably.
which is what makes this hunt so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's not a simple morality tale with a clear-cut message.
No.
It's an exploration of human nature itself,
Yeah.
with all its complexities and
I
contradictions.
love that.
Perhaps the ultimate treasure isn't the prize at the end,
Hmm.
but the self-discovery we experience along the way.
That's a beautiful thought. Our final letter comes from James, a teacher in Austin, Texas,
Okay?
and his question brings us back to the practical implications of the JCB treasure hunt.
Let's hear what James has to say.
Okay.
James writes, Dear Mailbag Fridays, as a teacher,
Okay.
I'm always looking for ways to make learning engaging and exciting for my students.
That's great.
Do you think the JCB treasure hunt offers any lessons or insights that could be applied to education?
Interesting question.
Could we use similar techniques to create puzzles and challenges that inspire students to think critically and creatively?
I love that idea.
Thanks, James, from Austin.
James, you've touched upon a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
At its core, the JCB treasure hunt is all about learning. It's about gathering information, analyzing patterns,
Forming hypotheses.
testing those hypotheses against the evidence.
It's about problem solving,
Yeah.
collaboration, and perseverance in the face of challenges.
Exactly. And those are essential skills for success, not just in treasure hunting, but in life.
Right.
Imagine incorporating those elements into educational activities.
Yeah.
We could create scavenger hunts that require students to solve riddles, decode messages,
Right.
and use their knowledge of history, science, or literature
Yeah.
to find the next clue.
That will be so fun.
Think of research projects where students piece together fragmented information, analyze primary sources, and draw their own conclusions.
I like that.
We could even design virtual treasure hunts using online platforms,
yeah.
allowing students to collaborate and compete from anywhere in the world.
That's such a cool idea.
By tapping into those same elements of mystery,
Right.
challenge, and reward that make the JCB treasure hunt so compelling,
Yeah.
we can create learning experiences that are both educational
Right.
and incredibly engaging.
And isn't that the ultimate goal? To inspire a genuine love of learning.
Absolutely.
To make students curious.
Yeah.
To make them eager to explore and discover new knowledge.
I think that's what it's all about.
So-
So to James and all the educators out there,
Right.
let's take inspiration from the JCB treasure hunt and create learning experiences that spark both imagination
Yeah.
and intellect.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's Mailbag Fridays.
It flew by.
But the conversation doesn't end here.
Oh, no.
Keep those letters, emails, and carrier pigeons coming.
Yes, please.
We love hearing your thoughts and theories about the JCB treasure hunt.
Keep them coming.
Because, as we've seen today, this hunt is more than just a game.
It's true.
It's a testament to human ingenuity,
Absolutely.
a celebration of curiosity, and a reminder that the greatest treasures are often found in the journey itself.
Beautifully said.
Until next time,
Yeah.
happy hunting, everyone.
folks. We hope you found today's video interesting and informative. Make sure to hit the like button if you did. Also, think about sharing it with another treasure hunter. And if you're not already a subscriber, please take a moment to do so now. We look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, and remember, there's a treasure out there waiting for you to find it.